Flip a wine bottle, and there is that dent. People say it saves glass or cheats you on volume. So, why is it really there? You have seen it 1,000 times. The mysterious dent under a wine bottle. People invent reasons for it. It keeps sediment away. It makes cheap wine look fancy. It is a trick to use less glass. The truth is older, messier, and better. It is part glassblowing fix, part champagne drama, and part performance at the table. Step into a glass house in England in the 1600s. The furnaces burn coal. The glass is thick and dark. Bottles are blown by hand. To finish a bottle, a worker sticks a metal rod to the base. That rod is called a pontil. When you snap it off, it leaves a sharp scar right on the bottom. That scar is a problem. It is jagged. It scratches tables. It makes a bottle wobble. So glassblowers push the base inward. They bury the scar inside the dent. They call it a push-up, a kick-up, or the punt. It is a practical bandage on a clumsy wound. Around this time, a bold Englishman named Sir Kenelm Digby is busy. In the 1630s and 1640s, his world uses coal fires to make sturdier bottles. They look like squat onions with fat sides. The kicked-up base helps them stand. The thick walls keep them from breaking in carts and ships. Digby did not invent the punt alone, but those onion bottles made it a look. Picture two bottles in a tavern. One has a flat base with that nasty pontil scar sticking out. It rocks on the table. The other has the base pushed in. The scar is tucked up inside the dent. It sits steady. That is the whole early point. Cover the scar. Make the bottle stable. For a long time, every bottle is made by hand. Then comes a switch. In 1903, Michael Owens patents a fully automatic bottle machine. By the 19-teens and 1920s, most bottles come out of molds. No more pontil rods on the base. No more scars to hide. So did the dent vanish? Not at all. The punt stays. Once people expect it, it feels right in the hand. It looks like a wine bottle. Makers keep it for tradition and for the signal it sends on a shelf. Now jump to sparkling wine. Champagne is under real pressure. About 5 to 6 atmospheres inside the bottle. That is 2 to 3 times a car tire. If the glass is weak, it explodes. So champagne bottles use thicker glass. A still wine bottle might weigh around 400 to 500 grams when empty. A champagne bottle is often around 800 to 900 grams. Deep punts show up with that look. Thick glass, a wire cage, a proud dent you can feel. It reads as serious bubbles. Early champagne makers had a mess on their hands. Bottles popped in cellars like firecrackers. Around 1816, the House of Veuve Clicquot works out riddling. They rest bottles neck down in wooden racks. Each day, a worker gives a small twist. The yeast slides to the crown near the cork. In the 1840s, the wire cage takes hold. Many credit Adolphe Jackson. The cage holds the cork against the pressure. Put it together. Thick glass, a deep punt, a cork tied with wire. The shape becomes the costume of bubbles. Does the dent catch sediment? In sparkling wine, the yeast does not end in the punt. Riddling shifts it to the neck on purpose. In still wines, crystals of tartaric acid can settle in the ring around the punt. People call them wine diamonds. They are harmless. But clarity mostly comes from the shape of the shoulder and a slow, steady pour. Think of an old Bordeaux. The classic move is to decant by candle. You tip the bottle and watch the shoulder. When you see the fine dust reach the bend, you stop. The punt did not do that work. The shoulder did, and so did your careful hands. What about strength? Does a deep punt make a bottle tougher? For pressurized wines, the whole shape matters. Thick walls, even curves. The punt is part of that geometry, but it is not magic on its own. For still wines, a big dent by itself does not add a lot. The total mass and where the glass sits in the walls matter more. You can find very fine still wines in bottles with shallow punts. Many top Burgundy producers prove this every year. Then there is the pour. Service manuals teach the thumb in the punt grip. It looks elegant. It helps you control a heavy bottle, especially champagne. But it is not a law of physics. Many pros cradle the base with one hand and hold the neck with the other. The pour is clean. The glass is full. No drama needed. Walk down a store aisle. You will notice a pattern. The deep punt and the heavy bottle often sit with higher price tags. That is a link, not a cause. Some mass-market wines use deep punts on purpose. The heft feels premium in your hand. But quality producers also bottle great wine in lighter glass with a small dent or a flat base. Your nose and tongue still decide in the end. Now the modern trade-off. Lightweight bottles cut glass use. They cut shipping weight and carbon too. Heavy bottles with deep punts feel luxe. They also cost more to move. Sparkling wine keeps the heft for pressure and for the classic shape. Still winemakers choose the look they want. Here is the neat twist. Owens killed the pontil scar problem in 1903. We kept the dent anyway. We liked the habit. We liked the story. We liked the show. Quick myth check. No, the punt does not cheat you on volume. Bottles are measured by fill at the neck. No, it does not save much glass. Deep punts often go with more glass, not less. Yes, you can stand a bottle without a punt. It just needs a flat, smooth base. Want a simple home test? Line up 2 still wine bottles, one light and flat, one heavy with a deep punt. Close your eyes and pick one up. The heavy one will feel expensive. That is your brain, not the wine. Smart marketers know this. Fun side note. The dent gives you places to hold. Your thumb can rest in it when you pour. Your other fingers can curl around the base. That is handy with a cold, wet champagne bottle in an ice bucket. It is a small, ergonomic win, even if it is not the original reason for the dent. Storage tip. Sediment hates movement. Keep old reds on their side and still. When you are ready, stand the bottle upright a day before opening. The fine dust will slide down near the base. Then pour slowly and watch the shoulder. The punt can catch a little, but your patience does more. One last nod to history. Those old onion bottles were not pretty by today's rules. They were squat and dark, but they were tough for the time. The kicked-up base helped them survive bumpy roads and sea trips. That survival is why we can even talk about them now. Here is your dinner table answer. That dent started as a fix for a sharp scar and hand-blown glass in the 1600s. Champagne pressure made the deep punt a proud look with corks and wire cages in the 1800s. Today, it is mostly theater and touch. It feels right. It pours well. And it is not a trick. If you like this kind of hidden history, subscribe and drop a like. There are more small mysteries on the channel waiting for a curious brain. Thanks for hanging out, and see you next time.